Alright, welcome back everybody. Another video on adding and subtracting integers. With this one, there's a couple different scenarios that we'll come across, and I've added everything here. So if you need to, take notes or whatever, um, pause at any point and, copy as you want. So adding and subtracting integers. Today there's a lot of different scenarios. Um, if we are adding two negatives, it kind of becomes more negative. So if we have -5 plus -3, we would end up with -8. A good way to kind of solve these guys is to use a number line. So let's say this is 0, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We were going -10. And so we plot our points where we have -5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be right there. So at that point is -5. And we're adding another -3. So we would be moving 1, 2, 3 more negative, we would end up with -8. So this is a way that we can use a number line. Another way that we could do, I've seen in the past, where we have tokens. We have -5 and then we add -3. So since we have two negatives, it's become more again negative. So we would end up with -8. I prefer number lines better because you visually see it's either shifting to the left or to the right. The next example, if we are adding two positives, obviously we have $10 plus $5 gets us $15. When we're adding two positive numbers or two integers together, it's increasing. It's getting farther away from 0. Some things to consider: if we're adding a positive and a negative integer, it depends on whichever one's kind of greater. It's moving either closer to 0. So we need to kind of keep in mind a couple things. So if we have -3 plus 2, again, going back to my number line, I start at -3, which is right here, and I add 2, 1, 2. It's moving closer to 0. So we would have we end up with -1. When we kind of see a positive plus a negative integer, in some ways it can also be seen as 5 minus 4 is equal to 1. There are some instances where if we have a negative integer and it's greater than the positive, we're going farther to the left. And kind of like an example of that, let's say I have 2 plus -7. So we would start with our number line, and I'll have 0 here, 1, 2. So I have 2 right here, and I'm subtracting 7 in a sense. So I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, just to make sure all of my bases are covered. So I'm starting at 2, and I'm moving to the left 7 spaces, or subtracting 7. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm subtracting 7, and that ends up with -5. So that is how we can think of that. So sometimes the negative number is going to be greater than the positive number. It's not always going to be this straightforward where, oh, a positive number is still greater than that negative number. It's just 5 minus 4. Sometimes we have to read it very carefully. Even though 2 is greater than -7, that -7 is pulling us down into the negative side of 0, to the left of 0. Another situation that can be come across is when we are subtracting a negative integer and it becomes addition. So when we see this, in my class, we kind of look for this symbol right here, a negative, parentheses, and then a negative number. And we have this little joke that when we see the two negatives, it kind of makes a smiley face and it's a positive. So taking two negatives into a positive, I kind of draw like a little smiley face and I cross to make it look like a plus sign. Kind of bending it a little bit, but this is what I tell them to look for. So if we make two negative signs back to back, we turn it to a positive. So instead of negative 5 subtracting negative 4, what we do, we convert this to a addition sign, plus sign, and then it just becomes 5 plus 4. And if we wanted to solve this on a number line, we can. I have here, and I'm going to put 0 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and our point is at negative 5. It's where we're starting, and we are adding 4, so we are moving to the right. We're moving closer to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that is our end point, which is negative 1, and we see negative 1. So if you want to have a couple practice questions, pause the video here, try it on your own, and then see if you get it right. So we're going to start with this first example, negative 5 plus negative 2. So we need to see we are adding two negatives together, so it should be becoming more negative. So negative 5, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Negative 5 is going to start right here. So that's negative 5, my starting point, and I am adding negative 2, and so my end point is going to be negative 7. So when I write these back, negative 5 plus negative 2 is equal to negative 7. And see if you got that right. Our next one, we have negative 1 minus negative 5. So remember, when we see this sign, we want to make sure we understand that that turns to addition. So negative 1 plus 5 is equal to, so negative 1 is right here. So that's negative 1, and I'm adding 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is my end point, and that gets me 4. So negative 1 plus 5 gets me 4. And I want to box my answer. Our next example, we have negative 3 plus 8. So we are starting at negative 3, which is right here. So negative 3, and we're adding 8, so we're moving to the right. 8 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's my end point, so that is positive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So negative 3 plus 8 is equal to 5. And my final example, negative 3 minus 3 is equal to what? So I find negative 3, which negative 3 starts here. And since I'm subtracting 3, I am moving this direction. 1, 2, 3. My end point is at negative 6. Forgot to write negative 3. So negative 3 minus 3 gets me negative 6. Another way that we can kind of see this is negative 3 plus negative 3. That's another way to kind of think of it, but I would rather have people see, oh, minus, I'm going to the left, plus, I'm moving to the right. So if you pause the video, see if your answers are right, and see see what's what. Well, thank you so much for listening, and I will see you in the next video.